Oh, so okay, I'm gonna consider this a word that came to me, right? Um, so I'm gonna put it this way, right? In order to fully understand gang stalking, in order to fully understand how secret societies work, in order to fully understand how um, Stasi states work, you gotta remember, you gotta look into history. You have to know you have to know about history. You have to be able to go back in time and to see what was done previously, so then you can see what is happening in the current state. As they're trying to heterodyne me, they're trying to see if they can alter certain types of reactions out of my body or whatever. Now, the majority of people who are not handlers have no clue. Most likely, they have no clue that their entire energy, their spiritual energy, is being manipulated. Why? Because they can't necessarily hear when they're being tuned, and they probably can't even necessarily feel when they're being tuned. And more times than likely, they probably don't even recognize that a thought that pops up into their mind isn't actually a thought that naturally entered or that naturally cultivated itself in their mind. So, and luckily for me, I have found the research. I have done the research. And then, the best part about it is, even though I had factory reset my phone, my evidence, my research is still online. It's still copied in various places. It's still being circulated by multiple people. It's still very much at my fingertips. I'm saying all this because, and I'm gonna say it loud and clear, these perps, these handlers, they have no power. They have no power. They have no power. You have to, as a target individual, empowered individual, or just someone who acknowledges people are actually covertly and secretively, doing things to them. You have to acknowledge they have no power. They have no real power. They have no real power. Why they have no real power? Because if you took away their devices, what do they have? Nothing but what they were born with. If you took guns away from a person, if you took a gun and a knife, if that gun jammed on somebody who's trying to take somebody out, what do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're gonna try to kill that person with their bare hands? No, more times than likely they're gonna run. So, and if they don't have some other type of weapon on them to try to finish the job, they're gonna run. Because I doubt they're going to try to take their gun and pistol whip them to death. So, one thing you need to remember is the majority of people who are using weapons to try to take out an enemy, they have no power. Why they have no power? Because is they don't have it in them to literally actually be able to do what they want to do without trying to seek some easy way of doing it without actually getting hit back. That's the most important thing, is people will do all these things to you because they found a way to do it to you without you actually being able to hit them back. But here's the thing though. I need to remind everyone that you actually still can hit them in several different ways that they will never actually be able to feel or recognize that they're being hit until all of that energy has finally like just came together and at a particular point. You got to remember, even though they're hiding, there are things that you can do to send attacks to your enemy. The power of the mind is very powerful. You got to remember, the entire body is made of electrical impulses and signals and frequencies. You can actually think your way into basically forcing your enemies into circumstances or situations that they will not be able to defend themselves or recover from. You have to manifest that thought. People don't necessarily seem to realize how powerful a thought truly is, or how powerful words truly are. You have to speak things into existence, especially if you have, you know, the best intentions, or if you are the one being oppressed and you are seeking refuge from your oppressor. Trust and believe your ancestors will hear you. Your guardian angels will hear you. God will hear you. Whatever messenger that you are following, that God put forth on this earth, will hear you. You have to manifest this thought. You have to literally project it outward from your body. You have to think of a light, right? Remember how they say travels at the speed of light? So think of it like this. If I wanted to say, I pray that every single weapon that my enemy uses will one day be used against them. But Lord God, I really want them to actually repent and see the harm, truly see the harm that they cause, and feel the guilt for the things that they've done. And should they not actually recognize these things and recognize you as the true creator of all things and the true passageway for their eternal existence, Lord God, may your will be done against them. For those who live by the sword die by the sword. Those who live by the technology die by the technology. Those who live by the gun die by the gun. Those who live by that knife die by that knife. You have to project these thoughts outwards, because thoughts carry energy. Thoughts carry energy. Thoughts carry energy. If you think outwardly, and also it also helps too when you recognize or you acknowledge the fact that this AI system, or this computer, this technology, is basically reading and decoding your electrical impulses, meaning the computer itself is actually going to process whatever you think. So like, I've been practicing this thing, right? I've been practicing this thing where if I'm, let's say, feeling an attack on, let's say, like, matter of fact, today they tried something different. Right in the, I guess it would be, if you were looking at my back, it would be the right side of my back, not near the lumbar, but just kind of like on the more outer outer right side, not necessarily the traps, but maybe just in the middle of the back, but closer to towards the outer parts of the rib cage. About this long, there's a strand of muscle that they are vibrating. They have found the resonant frequency of this particular strand of muscle that comes like it like starts here, then it kind of goes down like that, and it's vibrating, right? And anytime I move in a particular position or move a certain way, you know, that's when I mostly feel the pain from that muscle in itself. So basically, this is what I do, right? First and foremost, if I want to try to see if I can get relief from it, first thing you gotta do, you gotta calm yourself down. Take everything out of your mind, and then you visualize your back. You visualize. Well, I visualize my back, and I see the exact spot where it's at. And what I would do, I basically envision myself saying detach, but I put it in almost like a computerized form. So it would be like, what's that? The greater than sign, DETACH, less than, or is that? Well, I think that's the less than sign than the greater than sign. But I would put it in those, right? And I would say detach. So I would envision that particular spot, and then I would imagine myself typing it as if like it's as if I'm in the command control panel or control panel, command panel, command control panel, whatever it's called, and I'm typing it into the computer. And then once I put that last sign on, I then imagine myself pressing send. The moment I do that, I then begin to feel the energy that's transmitting to that part of my back. As I'm feeling it right now, it's not vibrating as much as it was before. It's still a little warm. But I practice doing that more, because the reason why I say you got to keep practicing more is because it's not just one particular frequency that's attached to, whatever that nerve or that cell or that tissue or that fiber. They attach several. So you have to continuously do it until it completely dissipates. So when I do it, I would feel the energy. First of all, it's almost as if like there's like a heat, like almost like a heat spot, like a heat wave, right? Once you envision yourself saying detach or the less than sign, END underscore TRANSMISSIONS greater than, so end transmission. And you send, right? You imagine yourself sending that signal out. Because remember, it's a computer or artificial intelligence that's processing your thoughts. So if you send that command out and the computer processes it, you may actually feel almost as if like something, like the energy of whatever that signal was slowly start to leave your body. And whatever you do, allow your arms and your hands to go with it, because remember, energy is very fluid. And your fingertips, if you remember, I think maybe it was, I forgot how many videos it was ago, maybe 180, maybe 184 or 183, where I posted this article about how explaining the human biofield. And you basically have to learn that you emit electromagnetic energy from your fingertips. Each finger represents a particular part or several parts of your body, and energy actually escapes through your fingertips. So, like right now, there's energy traveling from just, let me see. So right now, there's energy traveling from here. It comes up here, and then it's going through the arm, or passing over the arm, through the hand, and then it escapes right through the fingertips. And it's very magnetic. It's very magnetic, and you can feel the heat. You can feel the heat of the energy escaping, right? And even when you move your fingers, you will feel like there is something like either wrapping around your fingers or something that your fingers are passing through. Trust and believe when I tell you, you are more than capable, even if you have no electronic device. And I feel like, based on what the handlers and the game stalkers are doing with my devices, remember, you have to be a master of protecting your peace. So even if they disrupt your electronic devices, God gave you so much more power and ability to do so much more than what you ever really imagined that you can do. The only reason you haven't figured it out yet is because we have been poisoned. Our bodies and minds have been poisoned for so many years, whether it's through the air, whether it's through the food, whether it's through the water. We are being suppressed. And then now that they have this technology to actually access our mind and access our spiritual energy, and to suppress us from ever being able to reach particular higher and higher states of consciousness or spiritual energy, whether it's peace, enlightenment, love, whatever the energy state is. They're using technology to suppress us. Why? Because those are higher frequencies than the ones that they're operating on. Grief, anger, hate, um uh uh I don't know, jealousy, whatever. All of those are low vibrational frequencies, right? So if you were someone who basically always had a genuine love for people, or animals, or whatever the case may be, they would find you as a threat because you would give people hope. You would be a threat to them because you would give people hope that they can actually escape the bondage, the electronic bondage that they're holding over people. Like Bernie Mac said, and I said that, and I probably said this time, I said this like too many times today. And I know God don't necessarily, you see, they're heterodynamic, so that's why I if you ever see me do this, that's because they're heterodynamic. If in the heterodyne, I'm gonna repeat it again. Heterodyne is basically when they take a high and a low frequency and they converge it on a receiver. Your brain is the receiver. Remember that your brain is a receiver. Your brain works like a computer or FM FM AM, radio receiver. And when they converge these two frequencies on you, your brain then resonates with a particular frequency, and then they will pick up on that frequency and they'll lock onto it. And then they'll, try to, well, or rather, I should say, they'll send these two frequencies in, and then your brain will resonate to one particular frequency that will generate a physiological response to the frequency that is created. So and I'm not giving them no power. You have power. You need to remember that you always have power. You always have a choice. God gave every single human being born into this world free will, and free will is one hell of a power. Free will is one hell of a power. And I don't give no 2 cents, whatever, about what anybody says about, oh, I'm not a snitch, or oh, I'm not doing this. Look, if anybody comes against you and your free will, you need to stand up for your free will. How you gonna give up power over yourself to somebody else? How you gonna give up power to how you gonna give up power of yourself to somebody else? Because you afraid of being persecuted, because you afraid of being, lied about, because you afraid of people, coming after you. And then on top of that, it's a lot of people out here acting tough, believing they tough. I don't act tough. I don't believe I'm tough. I'm just defending myself. I don't need to prove nothing to nobody. I stopped proving things to people since I was about like 25, 26 years old. Cause I realized you can't please nobody. Honestly, you can't please nobody. So it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense to be trying to please anybody. You just do what is right. You do what's right, and you do what's right. You do what's right. You do what's right, and you do what comes natural. And as long as you're not causing harm to no one, because remember, God is watching to see who is worthy of eternal peace. God, the Creator, Yahweh, Yeshua, Jehovah, Jah, Allah, whatever you want to call him, that Creator is watching to see who is worthy of eternal peace. Because remember, people don't realize we're definitely not the only species in this universe. We're not the only intelligence in this universe. If anything, we're probably the lowest form of that intelligence. We're probably like the lowest form of of creatures of whatever intelligence, whatever. And it's funny because like China and so many other countries, they keep trying to send signals out into the universe to see if they can contact with other species and aliens and whatnot. But I'm just thinking, they know we here. We don't need to be sending them signals. They know we here. They really not trying to connect with any of us. Why? Because if anything, they've been watching us. They've been watching how savage we are. They've been watching us. They also know that the fallen angels are out here corrupting a whole bunch of humans. Like I had this thought this morning. I was just thinking to myself, like, can you imagine? What if aliens are actually a lot more peaceful than we are, but they don't want to engage us because we're violent? Can you imagine? And we learned this violence from the fallen angels. I've been reading more of the Book of Enoch and a lot more scripture, and just trying to understand more about the fallen angels anyway. And I'm gonna save that thought for another. I don't even want to get into that one over the Roe versus Wade, but let's just keep in mind that the fallen angels definitely have a history of coming down. Well, no, they did come down onto Earth, and they fornicated with humans, and then created these offsprings of theirs. And for the most part, the fallen angels, they basically raped a lot of human beings. But I'm not even going to go into that, but you could kind of see where I might be going with this. But hey, I digress. Um, but yeah, don't give up your free will to nobody. Because giving up your free will because you're afraid of being persecuted, you just told God that you no longer believe in God's existence. You no longer believe in faith. You no longer believe in the idea that you could be saved and you can weather through any storm no matter what. You just basically told God that, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, the intention is good always. So, and I'm just saying to myself, like, I like how I got real quiet. I mean, I hear the music from like a neighbor, but you know, they always listen attentively when I start talking. Why? Because they basically want to, I don't know, I guess they're trying to see what they can try to manipulate. Because obviously, most people probably don't know about technology, and then on top of that, they're being told that they're not supposed to know about technology. So I'm just thinking to myself, oh, so you're supposed to know about technology. Speaking of the handlers, they're supposed to know about technology and then use it against us to manipulate us, and we just not know. That's a false God representation. That is a false prophet representation. That in itself is so deceptive and catastrophic, because it basically leads to anybody basically condemning themselves. And you know what? The entire time that I've been targeted, right? Even the moments where I just almost felt like I just wanted to just give up everything and just like or I just wanted to possibly lash out or whatever. The creator and the fallen angels are always right there next to me. And then they do something to just remind me, hold on. We were just testing to see what you were gonna do. And when you continue to just hold that piece of yours, when you hold on to that piece of yours, when you hold on to that willfulness to fight against, the principalities of evil, or fight against, the fight against the influence of their technology, or fight against the influence of them breaking into your home and moving things around, or fight against the influence of, they repeated something that said in a phone conversation, or just in a conversation in your apartment, and then you never seen these people's faces, and they just happen to be saying something about what you said in the privacy of your own home. Always remember, God created humans so that we did not know, or we weren't supposed to know, about the secrets that are out in heaven. And remember, everything that is wrong with the world now is because the fallen angels have told those secrets that are out in heaven. They told them to humanity, and then humanity basically took it upon themselves to say, well, with all these secrets from heaven, we should create a secret society. Now, here's the other part. a lot of those people throughout the centuries who, basically try to create secret societies, and they've been doing such and such for this long or whatever. Remember that they used to do this stuff out in the open. But then what did God start doing? God started striking all of them down. So then what did they start doing? They started to move into secrecy. Now God probably, God, I remember God said that he wasn't going to destroy all of humanity again. God promised that he wouldn't do that. So now it's just kind of more orchestrated, where to the point God just wants to see, okay, who am I keeping? Rather than destroying everybody all at once, because there's good people mixed into this stuff too. But they maybe they don't fully act against other people. Maybe they don't um take part in none of this stuff, because there's a lot of good people mixed in this stuff. Some of them don't even realize they're a part of it, but they just want to maintain the lifestyle that they have. But yeah, you got to be a master of protecting your peace, and never give up your free will. Because if you give up your free will, you could basically kiss your soul goodbye. In these flesh bodies, we're not really ever going to fully understand the potential of the human spirit, because we're not necessarily supposed to. Yeah. Well, that's it for me. I'm tired. I've been trying to hold off on taking a nap because I want to actually go to sleep, and then wake up from that sleep and then go to work. Because normally what I would do is, like, when I come in from work, I probably eat a little bit, then I would like go to sleep, but it's more like a nap. So that nap will be from like 1:30 or 2 o'clock all the way till about like 7 or 8. And then it's like, damn, I still got to go back to sleep because my alarm goes off at 2:30 a.m. So I'm just like, but anyway, yeah, as you know how I always do, take like one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.